Occasionally, a lot of times, we'll have artists come into the studio, and recently we had Sheryl Crow in the studio.
Sheryl Crow just released a country album and was on her way to the Academy of Country Music Awards. And it just worked out that our morning show, the Cornbread Morning Show, was also headed to Vegas for the Academy of Country Music Awards, and we thought it would be great timing to bring Sheryl in to the studio to introduce her to the listeners of WIL, since she has a new country project.
So now you feel like the country's time has come for you?
You know, honestly, I'm a little reticent to even say that because I feel like it's such a sacred format and I love it so much. And Brad Paisley's the one that came to me and said, when are you going to come home and make a country record? And I told him, I said, I'm nervous about doing it. I've seen other pop people try to make that crossover. And he said, but you should have always been here.
I was nervous all morning because this is Sheryl freaking Crow. Come on, let's. And then all of a sudden, she comes in. It was just her guitar player, and I think her manager and maybe one other people. You know, it was like she had this big entourage, like Nelly or something. Just her and three other people. And it was so funny because you could tell all of a sudden Cornbread, he got a little nervous.
Danny Montana's got some weird voodoo. He's got pictures of people with goats and sheep and chickens, and somehow he always seems to be able to get that person, and they just kind of miraculously show up. He tells me about 48 hours in advance. The big one's a week in advance. I ignore it until about 15 minutes before, and then I go, oh, that person's coming on, and then we just, you know, to the wall. Put it in fourth gear, let's crank.
I thought you always had a country feel to you, but you never went full bore into it.
No, I mean, you know, it's funny. When I started 20 years ago, country, the format wasn't exactly what it is now.
Yeah.
And
right now it's na-na.
Well, interestingly enough, we kind of really haven't changed what we've always done, but it just works now at country. It actually works at country better than it works anywhere else.
You don't want to always tell Cornbread not to ask or any rules, but every artist gives you certain rules that you're not allowed to, not the artist, I shouldn't say that. The record companies and the managers say questions you're not allowed to ask or subjects you're not supposed to broach with an artist.
And I've actually had phone calls. I can't believe that you said that about my artist. Well, you know what? We are human, and our DJs are allowed to say how they feel about a certain song.
Interviewer is to focus on artist's upcoming album and single. Well, of course, duh. Please refrain from asking artists about personal life, which might include relationships, past and present, pets, past and present, I guess in case they're sad over a dead dog or something, any details not pertaining to music, career, or current album. Thank you for your compliance. We look forward to reviewing the interview.
People know they got a #1 song, or I wouldn't be talking to them. I talk about their new project. I don't want to do that. He wants to play by the rules. I want to play by my rules. It's the Cornbread Show. It's not the epic record show. So I didn't really care about that as much as I wanted to know how she went from this to this. And now she wants to take over country music. So it's going to be an interesting thing. I wish her the best.
He always gotta be calling me when I'm lonely. He's so wrong to be leading me on when I can't say no.
Can we top Sheryl Crow? Oh, yeah, I just have to think of who can we get to top Sheryl Crow. Let me think on that.
It can always get better. There's always something bigger out there that can be more exciting, more different. And I'm sure Danny and Judy and whoever will make that happen in the future.